And now Mark Wahlberg talks to animals.
Now I'm gonna talk to a monkey. Hey, how's it hanging? We should do a film together. What do you think? But I'm not joking around, okay? This is the real thing. I mean, this could be huge. All right, well, think about it. Say hi to your mother for me, all right?
This has been Mark Wahlberg talks to animals.
Hello, I'm Mr. Movie Lover here with a fun video about the 2001, not remake, but rather reimagining of Planet of the Apes. The movie literally no one asked me to review, but due to being bored one day a few weeks ago, I watched it, and well, here we are. I'm going to do something different here and leave timestamps in the description so you can skip ahead to a specific section if you'd like. Hopefully, I've never tried this before, but I'm sure I can figure it out. So, let's start with the beginning, or rather the pre-beginning. The pre-production started around 1988 when 20th Century Fox hired director/writer Adam Rifkin and asked him what he wants to make. Rifkin was hired after making Never on Tuesday, which was enough to hire him, but I'm not familiar with it. Of his other films, the two that I have seen are The Chase and Detroit Rock City. Both are technically movies. Anyways, he told the studio he wanted to make a new Planet of the Apes movie. He said, "Having independent film experience, I promised I could write and direct a huge-looking film for a reasonable price and budget like Aliens." Now, I'm not saying this was a completely flawed thinking, but transitioning from small independent films to blockbusters does not always work too well. Look at Josh Trank. He had great success with the film Chronicle, a found footage movie about teenagers getting superpowers. 20th Century Fox also hired him after that film to make the most recent Fantastic Four film, and let's just say that didn't go well. So Rifkin started to work on a Planet of the Apes film titled Return to the Planet of the Apes. It was set in the future from the original series where the apes had started a Roman-style civilization and Charlton Heston's character's descendant leads a revolution with the human slaves, sort of like a Spartacus/Gladiator style movie. But just days before it could go into pre-production, he butts heads with some new Fox executives, and it was abandoned. Peter Jackson was said to express interest in the project and started to develop pitches for it. But that didn't go very far, and he went back to working on Heavenly Creatures. In 1993, Oliver Stone and Sam Raimi were both being considered as directors for the project, and Stone was actually hired as an executive producer. Now titled Return of the Apes, it was to take place in the near future, where a plague is killing off humans. There was time travel, genetics, and Eve and Adam, and future apes, and the Stone Age viruses. It was pretty complex. They hired Arnold Schwarzenegger to play the lead role, Will Robinson. Sadly, Fox ended up getting frustrated with the direction that this movie was headed, and they wanted to be less Terminator and more Flintstones apparently. So Oliver Stone moved on to other films, and Chris Columbus was brought in. He hired Sam Hamm to write it. And it became a movie about an ape crashing a spaceship onto Earth and unleashing a virus that threatened humanity. So two scientists had to take the spaceship and travel back to its home planet where apes were at war with humans. Fox wasn't too impressed with that script either, so Columbus left to make Jingle All the Way, and Fox offered the director spot to Roland Emmerich in 1996. The same year he released Independence Day. James Cameron was hired to produce. Cameron left quickly, and Peter Jackson was approached again after I'm guessing Emmerich also left. Jackson turned it down, as well as Michael Bay. And in February of 2000, Tim Burton was hired, and finally the movie had the director that would stick. Hooray! Tim Burton was not the director, and for some reason unknown to us, Johnny Depp must have been busy because he was considered as the lead villain, Thade, as well as Daniel Day-Lewis. Side note, can you imagine the level of professionalism Daniel Day-Lewis would have brought to this role? He probably would have gone all Jane Goodall for a year to get into the chimpanzee mindset. But they were on a deadline, so that wouldn't have worked out anyways, and the role was given to Tim Roth instead. Danny Elfman was hired to compose the soundtrack. Him and Burton have constantly worked together, so that was no surprise. However, he was also originally hired back when the project was first started in the late 80s. Another non-surprise was the hiring of Helen Bonham Carter, as she too has worked with Burton in many times. They actually met while he was casting for this movie, and reportedly told her, "Don't take this the wrong way, but you were the first person I thought of to play a chimpanzee." And that smooth talking caused them to enter into a relationship after the movie was done filming that lasted for at least 13 years. Mark Wahlberg was hired for the lead role. Captain Leo Davidson. He left working on Ocean's 11 to take on the role, and Matt Damon replaced him on Ocean's. Other notable actors were Michael Clark Duncan, Paul Giamatti, Estella Warren, and of course, two chimps named Jonah and Jacob, who played Pericles, the one who started the whole mess. Also, Charlton Heston makes a brief appearance as Zaius, Tim Roth's character's father. Plot! So, Mark Wahlberg, as I said, played Captain Leo Davidson, a space pilot whose job is to train primates to pilot small pods around the space station Oberon. A cosmic disturbance has them send a chimp out to investigate, and the pod disappears. So, Leo jumps into his own pod to rescue it. He gets lost and crash lands on a strange planet. This mysterious planet is ran by humanoid apes, chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans, and they keep actual humans as slaves. Yes, it's very similar to the original Planet of the Apes premise. Leo gets captured with some other humans when Helen Bonham Carter's character, Ari, buys Leo and Deanna, a female slave who is also rebellious. Leo and Deanna later escape with some other humans and take Limbo and Ari as captives to keep them from giving them away to their pursuers. They make their way to Kalima, the holy temple of Samos. And that's about as spoiler-free as I can go with this plot. So if you still haven't watched the movie yet, skip ahead to the following timecode. I should be displaying that timecode right now to make sure that you're not spoiled. So once again, I'm new to the whole timecode thing, so for all I know, you could accidentally end up in some sort of alternate universe or something. So skip ahead with caution. Alright, so if you haven't skipped ahead yet, I'm going to reveal the big mystery of the movie. That surprise, drum roll, the Holy Temple was actually the crashed space station, Oberon, and Leo was sent almost 3,000 years into the future. They gather all the humans to have a big showdown against the ape army. Right where in the thick of the fight, Pericles, the chimp from the beginning of the movie, lands his pod. Apparently he was pushed even farther in time than Leo. Upon seeing him exit his pod, all the apes see him as the return of Samos, their god. So the deus machina of the movie is the apes actually thinking they found a god, and they stop fighting. And everyone lives happily ever after, I guess? Except for Thade, he doesn't turn out too well. So, Mark Wahlberg tries to go back to his own time by flying back through the cosmic storm again, and this time he crashes in Washington, D.C. on Earth. But instead of Abraham Lincoln in the Lincoln Memorial, it's Tim Roth's character, General Thade. He's surrounded by apes dressed as police officers, firefighters, and other human characters. But they're apes, so surprise there. That was a little bit weird, but you know, let's go back to the non-spoiler friends and see how they're catching up.
Welcome back. Thank you for skipping ahead, and welcome to Monkey Movie Lover, the channel ironically named for apes because I'm an ape and not a monkey. However, I'm sure those silly primitive monkeys with their silly tails, small brains, and shorter lifespans also enjoy this video. Also, if you're a human scum watching this video, please start shouting loudly for the nearest security chimp, and they should be around shortly to herd you back into your proper place. Back to my review of the crazy outlandish film, Planet of the Humans. Our protagonist Coco was discovered that she was different by trying to mimic your human, Francine's hand gestures, and she was awarded a pet cat for her troubles. Little did she know that... Sorry about that. I think we got some signals crossed there, but I'm glad you found your way back. So yeah, that was the plot. Not too much different than the original. They were considering making a sequel if this turned out financially successful, but when asked about making another one, Tim Burton said he'd rather jump out a window. I'm guessing the ape makeup was quite the ordeal for some of the actors, as well as there was a lot of hoops they had to jump through for the studio.
No need to jump through any crazy hoops.
but there always is. I don't know. When it came time for the next reboot, they used motion capturing and the ever resourceful Andy Serkis to humanize the apes. Trivia time. Trivia time. It's trivia time. I should probably rhyme because it's trivia time. Let's see here. Trivia. Well, the female chimps were not going to have eyebrows originally, but those looked too creepy, so they added them back in. Speaking of female chimps, Ari, played by Helena Bonham Carter, was originally going to be an ape princess and the love interest for Leo, but Fox did not care for that, and they nixed the whole plotline, and our eyeballs thank them. Also, the movie starts out on February 14th, 2029, so technically it's a Valentine's Day movie. I did it! I made a Valentine's movie! Whoop whoop! Here's another interesting fact. Mark Wahlberg refused to wear a loincloth like Heston did in the original because he did not want to be associated with his previous underwear model status. Tim Roth apparently couldn't stand his scene with Charlton Heston because of his membership in the NRA. He later said that he would never have signed off for the movie had he known that Heston shared the scene with him. And lastly, it seems that Spielberg was also considered for the job of directing, but he turned it down to make AI instead. So I'm not sure if there was a single director around at the time that wasn't even approached for this movie.
What am I, chopped liver? Oh, no respect, I say.
So what did I think about it? I mean, it's not a dumpster fire, so there's that. It's not the best thing in the world. Mark Wahlberg is an interesting choice for the lead. I generally enjoy his movies, aside from The Happening. The story got a little boring along the way. I think the effects were pretty believable for the time. Should you watch it? If you're as bored as I was a few weeks ago, then maybe. I don't know. It's not my top 50 movies for sure. It's not great, but it's alright. And that's my take on Tim Burton's masterpiece, Planet of the Apes. And what did you think about it, Monkey Movie Lover?
I liked all the human torture parts, but I wasn't so keen on when they found out that they...
Hey, hold up there, buddy. We don't want to spoil it for all the viewers who still want to watch this movie.
Oh! Well, I guess, as unrealistic as human uprisings could be, this movie was kind of entertaining.
You know I'm a human too.
What? Oh my! A human! Help! Somebody help me! Ah! A human! Why is no one helping me? There's a dang dirty
Alright,
human
well, that's it for me, movie lovers. I'm Mr. Movie Lover, and I hope you enjoyed this movie. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and of course, like this video. Maybe comment down below what your favorite Marky Mark movie is. Mine is probably The Italian Job.
Hey, there's a human!
Alright, let's check in on Monkey Movie Lover. We're over here.
Ah, you're still here? Help! There's a human loose!
Alright, well on that note, I'm out of here before I get thrown in one of those human cages. I'm Mr. Movie Lover, and I'll see you next time. Bye.